Hey everyone, my name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at some I Don't Work Here Lady stories, so sit back, relax and enjoy. I do work here, but this isn't a business. I was in the military pre-Desert Storm. I was coming back from lunch one day. I unlocked and opened the gate to our facility, and as I started to drive through the gate, saw a car right on my bumper trying to follow me in. I stopped my car right there and approached Karen to see what she wanted. "Let me in, I need to go to the veterinary clinic." Our facility was hidden from the main road, surrounded by 8-foot fences and posted with signs to keep out. The building far inside looked like a condemned house. There was nothing that remotely looked like a clinic. "Ma'am, this is not a veterinary clinic." "Don't lie to me, I know this is the veterinarian." "They said it was behind the commissary, and this is behind the commissary. Now let me in." I didn't know where to start. We were at least a mile from the commissary. If anything, we were in front of it. I knew for a fact there were no businesses or clinics behind the commissary, and I was 99% sure there was no base veterinarian. Karen was unwilling to accept any of this information and kept insisting I was lying to her. It took 4 of my co-workers and I, and a threat of military police being called, for her to finally drive off, yelling that she was going to report us to our commander. I was never so glad to lock that gate behind me. She literally said, "Oh, I'll report you to your commander," so she knew they were like a military base, but she still thought they were a veterinarian. "No, I don't work here, lady. You're in my house." Not entirely sure if this belongs here, but it kinda seems like it fits. This happened last summer when my husband and I were living in the middle of nowhere in Wyoming. We were both going to college at a tiny school, like 150 students tiny. So everybody knows everyone, and our on-campus housing was like 100 feet from the administration building. Anyways, it's the middle of summer, so there's not a lot going on. My husband was at work 30 miles away, and I was getting dressed after having just gotten out of the shower, when all of a sudden, I heard the front door open. No, it wasn't locked. Like I said, we're in the middle of nowhere and we know everyone in town. Obviously, I'm a little worried since I don't have pants on and my hair's still up in the towel, and now someone's in my house. I start going through all the people who might possibly just let themselves in and come up with nothing. My husband will be at work for a few hours still. My best friend is out of town for a wedding. My brother-in-law is at work in Colorado, etc. So who on earth is standing in my kitchen? As I'm panicking, I hear a voice. "Hello? Hello?" I didn't recognize the voice, but okay. I pulled some pants on, took the towel off my head, and walked into the living room to find a mid-50s Karen standing in my kitchen. Before I could even ask her what on earth she was doing in my house, she demands to know where the dean's office is. Well, it's definitely not in my house, but alrighty then. I put some shoes on and walked her out of my unobtrusive door with apartment B on it, over to the clearly marked administration building where I directed her to the right office. Never got an apology for wandering into my house, or a thank you for bringing her to the right place, but I got rid of her, so I guess that's all that matters. What a confusing situation to be in. Like, one time you just get out of the shower and there's a mid-50-year-old woman just walking in saying, "Where's the dean's office?" Not the groundskeeper. This happened a few years ago, but it still makes me laugh and cry a little when I think about it. A few years back, I went to visit a female friend who lived in Connecticut. She had a nice job as a consultant, but she was young and single, so she lived in an upscale apartment complex, as she did not want to deal with all the maintenance of having a house. I knew how to get to the place, but did not remember the number of her apartment. So I sat in a courtyard area near the entrance to the complex and called her to come get me. I think this is about the right time to mention that I'm a Hispanic male and was in my early 30s at the time. So I'm sitting on a bench, contemplating the nice landscape, when a lady in her 60s comes towards me, with a very concerned expression. She then starts telling me about how there is a trash can at the other end of the courtyard that's overflowing and needs to be emptied. She also tells me about a gate that is starting to hang and must be fixed soon. At first, it didn't register why she would be telling me these things. Is she making conversation? I think to myself. She must have noticed the confusion on my face, because then she repeats herself, this time speaking really slowly and gesticulating dramatically. It was only when she pointed to the trash can and said, "Basura, comprende?" that I realized she must have assumed I was a janitor, groundskeeper, or something similar. I should add that I was wearing relatively nice clothes, as my friend and I were going out to dinner, so it could not have been my clothes or my demeanor that caused her to believe I worked there. After all, I was just a guy sitting on a bench, or so I thought. I was about to start clarifying the situation for her when my friend comes out of the stairwell. I then decided that there was nothing to be gained from trying to explain to this lady that maybe it was a tad inappropriate to assume I was supposed to be cleaning the place. Not that there is anything wrong with that job, but it was obvious that I was not there for work. So I simply said hi to my friend and tell the lady, "I hope someone takes care of that trash and that gate. Have a good night," and proceed to walk away with my friend. Yeah, it is quite sad how people have like outdated preconceptions of people, but you know, like this person handled it really, really well, so props for them. I used to work here 5 years ago. This happened a few years ago, and I'm glad I remembered. I worked at the local supermarket all through high school and college. It's a small town, so you get to know the regulars pretty quickly. To set the scene, it's been 5 years since I quit, and the brand I worked for had been bought out in the interim. They renovated the whole store and rearranged the aisles, so I hardly knew where anything was. I was visiting my mother and stopped in to do some shopping on the way home. Here, I encountered a Karen that I instantly recognized. She was known to be a real Peter, and we largely avoided her back in the day. Luckily, she also recognized me. Now, I'm in jeans and a t-shirt, not the purple jackets the new company issued, but we all know attire does not stop a Karen. "You, where are the Cheerios?" "Sorry, I'm not sure. Maybe at the customer service desk?" "How do you work here and not know where the Cheerios are?" "I used to work here back when it was the old company, but they rearranged the whole store. I don't know where anything is myself." "Well, I've been looking all over. Can't you just go in the back and check?" Me, with a little quick thinking, "Sure, I know some of the guys still, I'll see if they can bring some out." So I go in the back room since I'm friends with the receiver, we chit-chat for a while and I leave out the back door, never mentioning Cheerios to him. I wonder how long that lady waited for me. I can just imagine her pacing around thinking, where is that person in my Cheerios? Why do they always find me? So this happens to me a lot. Doesn't matter what I'm wearing or doing. I guess I have that universal helper face or something. I have helped people on occasion, like when a very elderly woman needed some help finding an item by the pharmacy aisles, I just went and helped her find it. I'm not a jerk. But some people. I was once wearing a jacket, pushing a cart, and clearly shopping when a woman came up to me and started making demands at me. I just stared at her, she kept going. I silently motioned to my cart of stuff, and she kept going. Finally, I interrupted her to tell her I don't work here, and she went off on me about how rude I am. Okay, lady. The most recent one, though, might be my favorite. I was in a department store in the lingerie section, browsing, definitely not dressed anything like an employee. This lady comes out of a dressing room in her bra and asks me if I'll measure her bra size. Then cocks her head to one side, looks me over, and slowly says, "Oh, you don't work here, do you?" I tell her I do not. Then she says, "Will you measure me anyway?" No, I will not. That's such an awkward situation to be put in, like 99% of people would be so uncomfortable there. Flipped it on them. This will be super quick. I was shopping at a certain place that the uniform is red and khaki. It was an unfamiliar store in an odd shape, and I was short on time. I was wearing black pants and a black t-shirt. As I'm stopping to look at every section desperately seeking toys, a man stops me and says, "Hey, can you show me where the bath mats are?" I said, "No, can you show me to the toy section?" Him, "You don't work here?" Me, while gesturing to the all-black outfit, "No, know where the toys are?" He walked off without answering me. But seriously, how do I look like an employee? They are all dressed in red. I like these ones where it's just like, "No, do you know where this is though?" And then they're like, "Wait, what?" A short and sweet tale for you. So I work night shift at a hotel, and we wear blue shirts, and since it was a Friday, I was wearing the casual blue t-shirt with the hotel name on the front and back. It was early morning, and I had just finished my shift and needed to make a quick stop at the big blue store that everyone loves. Since it was going to be a quick trip, I just grabbed my wallet and put my lanyard for me keys on. I was walking out of the greeting cards aisle as I hear an older lady say, "Well, I am lost, I don't know where they are." I turn the corner and she goes, "Oh, you will know, where is the baby area?" I pause a moment because I just got off a night shift and I was hyper-focused on getting the car section. No, I don't know. Thankfully, a staff member comes into view, and with my best customer service voice, "But she will be more than happy to help you," and I ran away unapologetically. Once I was where I wanted to be, I laughed my butt off, because I realized what had just happened to me. Happy it was a clean escape. That's a perfect timing for the employee to appear. Very smooth, I like that. It's me, I'm Lady. It's just a quick story, and just to clear up, I'm not a lady. I'm a guy who is also a very sleep-deprived architecture student. It's final season, and in my case, it means a super intense project involving making a model within literally a week. I walk into this little art store to buy supplies, and I notice that there's no particular uniform for the employees here. Anyways, I find one of the many things I'm looking for, but it's locked in a glass cabinet. So, I go up to the main counter. 2 people behind it are helping customers check out. This third person in a grey hoodie is inspecting cans of spray paint, which is, for some reason, kept behind the counters. I approach him, thinking he works here, and say, "Hi, are you busy?" He looks at me confusedly, and I think he simply doesn't hear me, so I just repeat myself. He, bemusedly, looks up and asks, "Are you asking me if I work here?" My face grows red, and I profusely apologize while walking away in shame and horror that I'd become the very person I'd loathed. Anyways, I wouldn't be surprised if he posts the same story on here from his perspective. Someone pointed out that they try and keep the spray paint secure to try and keep kids from vandalizing, like putting graffiti on structures. Which, yeah, makes sense, but that would be really funny if that guy posted the other perspective. Hey everyone, I hope you're all having a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to see more videos like it, then click on screen right now. And if you never want to miss out on a video, then hit subscribe, but I will see you all very soon.